Tonight on Sports Overtime, Beale City and Everett compete for the top of their conference on our Sports Overtime Game of the Week. Kingsley looks to hold on to its undefeated record, hosting Grayling. Big Rapids and Reed City put their perfect conference records on the line, playing for first place in the CSAA Gold, plus coverage from Day 2 of the Red Wings training camp. Good evening and welcome to Sports Overtime. I'm Matthew Doyle. We have reached the middle of the regular season, and while it may be just week 5 of the season, there are some big matchups tonight, especially in the Highland Conference. Everett and Beale City, the last two teams without conference losses, and they met tonight. Tonight's winner will take control of first place in that conference, and they will have probably the best shot at a conference championship. Beale City seeking its first conference title since 2019, while Everett last won a conference in 2007. Beale City gets on to the scoreboard first in this one. Wade Wilson gets the handoff near the goal line, punching it in. Aggies go up 7-0. Beale back on offense again in the first. Quarterback Hunter Miles scrambling to his left, but Everett's Sam Bailey brings him down for the sack. Beale continues to march down the field in the red zone again. Jamison Latham shedding defenders on his way in for the touchdown. Aggies up 14-0. Beale just keeps it rolling the rest of the first half. The run game working pretty well for them tonight. Cade Block taking this one into the end zone. Beale City stays perfect in conference play with the 55-20 win. 9 and 10's Joey DeBerardino has more on our Game of the Week.
The running game was key tonight for Beale City as they led 27-0 over Everett at halftime. The Wildcats did show some life in that third quarter, but it was the Aggies the rest of the way, holding on to win 55-20 over Everett, moving to first place in the Highland Conference.
We just had to stay focused. I mean, it's a 4-quarter game, and I told our kids that, just not over. You got to keep playing. So, and they did that, and hats off to Everett. You know, they played hard for 4 quarters. But we got a few big guys up front that come downhill at you, and I think our physicality wore them out a little bit. We came out and just played our football game, and things worked out well for us.
That was pretty much for conference right there. So that was a huge win for us, big night. We got Pine River next week, and then our homecoming the following week. So we just got to stick to it and play our football.
With the win, Beale City stays perfect in the Highland Conference, now at 4-0. They improved to 4-1 overall. They'll take on Pine River in their next matchup. And the Everett Wildcats get their first loss of the season tonight. They'll see McBain next week. In Beale City, Joey DeBerardino for the Sports Overtime Game of the Week.
Thank you, Joey. In that same conference, Lake City and McBain played in their rivalry game tonight. The Trojans looking to bounce back from their first loss last week against Beale. The Ramblers, they have won 2 straight since losing their first 2 games. Lake City looking to protect their home turf tonight, but it was McBain getting the offense going first. Eli Baker breaking off a nice run for a gain of about 15 yards and a first down. Then Brock Maloney caps off the drive with a 1-yard touchdown run. Ramblers up 6-0. Later in the first quarter, off the play action, Braylon Pace looking for the end zone. Carson Hudinga makes a great catch for another Rambler touchdown, 14-0 McBain. More of the same in the second quarter. Eli Baker gets into the end zone. Ramblers roll over Lake City, 48-22 for their 3rd straight win. Kingsley has won 24 straight regular season games entering tonight, but this matchup could be a tough one. They hosted Grayling in conference play. The Vikings are 3-1. Their lone loss came in a competitive matchup with Traverse City St. Francis, and it was a defensive battle in the first. Grayling's Anthony Fisher finds the ball carrier, wrapping him up and making a big tackle. The Stads try it through the air on offense, rolling out and getting it to Brett Peterson. Grayling able to make the stop on 4th as they get the ball back, and they had the same idea of rolling and slinging to downfield to Dylan Craig, who makes a diving catch for the first down. Vikings looking to keep it on the ground with Fisher. He takes it outside, finding some room and down the sideline for the touchdown. Stads on 3rd and goal. They go up the gut, but they're stuffed by the Viking defense. They go for it, and they do find the end zone on the next play. Kingsley goes on to win 24-20. Elsewhere in that conference, Sault Ste. Marie bounced back from its first loss with a 28-point win over Sheboygan. They took on Ogama Heights, who is seeking its first conference win. Early in the 3rd, Sioux up by 14. Jacob Davey rolls out to his right and hits Colin Campbell for the first down. And then a few plays later, Davey is rolling to his right once again, this time keeping it. And he has some blockers ahead of him as he gets another first down. Ryan LaPlante then finds a nice hole to run through, eventually brought down by Bryce Burden. But that drive would stall. A gutsy play right here for the Falcons. 4th and 1 on their own 20. Carter Schmidt working hard for that first down. Then on 3rd and 5, Mason Driesenga hits Schmidt in the flat for a gain of 4. That drive would stall as well. Falcons, they did score late in the game, but Sioux wins a close game 14-6. There was also a battle for the top of the CSAA Gold tonight on the gridiron. Find out who won between Bid Rapids and Reed City next on Sports Overtime. Welcome back to Sports Overtime. Bid Rapids picked up a key 4-point win over Central Montcalm last week to remain undefeated and set up a battle with Reed City for the top of the CSAA Gold this week. Reed City has looked pretty good since their season opening loss to Cadillac. The Coyotes have won their 3 conference games by a combined 104-19. The winner of tonight's matchup sits in the driver's seat of that conference, and check out that view, a beautiful night at Cardinal Stadium. Late in the second, Reed up by 14, looking for more, but the Cards' Philip Wilbur shoots the gap and makes the stop. Early in the third, Bid Rapids gets on the board with this 1-yard QB dive by Will Strickler. Cardinals pull within 7. Reed City looking to respond. They're going to the air, but the ball, check out this play, bounces off the helmet, intercepted by Grant Kidder. Cards drive it to the Coyotes 11. Strickler trying the quarterback draw, but Reed City's Blake Van Alstyne isn't fooled. He wraps him up. Reed City would tack on a touchdown in the fourth, earning a hard-fought 22-7 win, staying perfect in that conference. For just the 3rd time in 15 years, White Cloud has won 3 games, and they haven't had 4 or more wins since 2003, which was also the last time that they had a winning record in a season. They're looking to pick up that 4th win on the road against Morley Stanwood, who's looking to improve to 3-2. This game off to a very interesting start. Mohawks receiving the opening kickoff. Matt Merrick with the nice run back, but the ball pops out. White Cloud's Jaden Van Dam pounces on it for the turnover. Then the first snap after the recovery, Mason Ruther finds Travion Brunson in the flat, and Brunson does the rest, weaving his way through the defense and diving across the goal line. 40-yard touchdown, a pretty nice start. On the Nets Indian possession, they try to go with the pitch play to the left, but the ball hits the turf. Morley Stanwood's Cody Enstrom makes the recovery. Later in the first, White Cloud going back to that pitch play. This time it's blown up by Ashton Van Langen. Morley Stanwood wins 20-10. Cadillac picked up its first conference win last week over Alpena, a nice bounce-back win after losing to TC West. The Vikings hosted Gaylord tonight. With the Blue Devils, they're looking to build off a win over Petoskey and improve to 3-2. And then third quarter was a bit of a messy one. Gaylord trying to punt, but the snap goes over the punter's head, and he kicks it out of bounds, taking the safety there as Cadillac takes a 15-0 lead. Later in the quarter, Gaylord trying to punt again, but the snap is bobbled, kicked off the ground. Cadillac's Jacob Metzger picks it up, tries to run with it, but then he fumbles it. Jonathan Aints comes up with it. That's just how they drew it up as the Blue Devils get the ball back, but after Cadillac defense holds, Gaylord trying to punt, but Cadillac's Derek Rude blocks the attempt. Tegan Baker snatches it and takes it to the house, but hold on just a minute. A holding penalty on Cadillac gets it called back. Student section not liking that one. Vikings would eventually punch it in on that drive as they go on to win 22-0. 4 weeks into the season, and Rudyard has already surpassed last year's total in wins. The Bulldogs looking to win 5 games for the first time since 2017, but they have to get by a 3-1 Newberry Indians, who can match last year's win total with a victory tonight. Bulldogs first possession, 3rd and 9. Austin Warner gets the call and runs hard for 5 yards. Sent back though by a trio of Indians. 3rd and 1 for Newberry. Marco Juarez powers his way for the 7-yard gain and the first down. 2 plays later, Matt Rahili looking for a hole to run through, but loses the ball. Brett Mayer recovers for Rudyard. First down on the 26. EJ Sugget back to pass. Cam Peterson running the post. Perfect throw. Rudyard up 6. And then Connor Rintamaki back to pass. Finds Eric Edwards on the sideline. And the throw is on target for the first down. Game tied at 14 at the half. Newberry leaves with a 34-28 win. Hillman has struggled this season in 8-man football, holding a 1-3 record. They took on Hale tonight. The Tigers lost by just 2 points to the Eagles last season, and the Eagles, they were going with the run play early and often. Zachary Kepke takes the jet sweep, stays in bounds, and runs down the sideline straight to the end zone as they strike first in this one. Hillman has a response, They're going through the air. A.J. Jones dropping back. He finds Caleb Hively over the top of his defender, and he grabs the catch for the touchdown. Tigers down by 2. Now, you got to watch this play by Hillman. The ball eventually gets to Trenton Teratuta on this play, and he tosses it downfield to his quarterback. Jones is open, and he scores the touchdown, taking a lead. It was a 2-point game again this year, but Hillman able to come out on top. Red Wings training camp continued today, and we had a chance to hear from Detroit's new goalkeeper. Hear the story about how he found out that he's a Red Wing next on Sports Overtime. Welcome back. In late July, the Red Wings pulled off one of the most surprising trades of the NHL offseason when they acquired goalie Alex Nedeljkovic from the Carolina Hurricanes. As 9 and 10's Tyler Driesenga found out today at training camp, Nedeljkovic was in the middle of another life-changing event when he found out about the trade.
Alex Nedeljkovic is starting a new life with the Detroit Red Wings.
You know, you got a lot of new faces to learn and a lot of guys you have to kind of finally actually meet.
Detroit's new goaltender was a finalist for the Calder Trophy last season with the Carolina Hurricanes. In late July, he got a phone call from his agent.
My wife and I, we were pretty surprised.
He'd been traded to the Red Wings. The timing was unfortunate.
Actually, we were getting married that day, and right before we went to see the judge, I got a call.
Alex Nedeljkovic was starting a new life.
And she wasn't too happy when I picked up the phone at first. And then when I told her what was going on, she was actually really excited. So it was kind of funny to see her reaction there and how quickly she switched from being a little pissed at me to being excited.
Life has changed quickly for Nedeljkovic in the last few months, but some things remain the same.
The job stays the same. You know, it was to stop pucks back there, and you know, this year it'll be to stop pucks for us now.
He hopes performing that old job description can bring stability to his new life and to his new team. In Traverse City, Tyler Driesenga, 9 and 10 News.
Thank you, Tyler. The series Rise on the Gridiron continues with Week 3, taking a look at the Cadillac Vikings. And here's a sneak peek from this week's episode.
JVs, after this play, Chris, you're not up the hill. You're running over top of that. You're not going to make a play over top of an ISO off to the edge. You got to be sticking it there. You got to be here. All right, you got a base in front. You're pressing the next gap. That's a wide ISO. You got to be right down the butts of the D tackles and D ends.
So do you want me just running through that center?
No. I want you crossing the center's face, finding the next window.
Okay.
Right, but you stayed at 4 or 5 yards back here. We're creating cutback lanes.
All right.
Because you're not going to get a front door escape on the other side anyway.
Okay.
All right, JV's in. Go get in the scout. Varsity, go get in that scout.
And you can watch this full episode online right now at mysportsnow.com. The Tigers continue their final homestand of the 2021 season, welcoming the Kansas City Royals to town. We'll start with those highlights next on Sports Overtime. The Tigers start their final home series tonight, hosting the Kansas City Royals and then playing the White Sox in a makeup game on Monday. Detroit had won 4 straight games entering tonight, and this was scoreless until the 3rd inning. With runners on 2nd and 3rd, Whit Merrifield flies it to right field, and it's caught, but that is deep enough to drive in a run. The Royals go up 1-0 in the 6th. Tigers get a run back. Eric Haas hits it down the right field line as one run scores easily. Haas eventually gets tagged out to end the inning, but it is tied at 1. In the next inning, the Royals retake the lead. Ryan O'Hearn with a base hit to left field. RBI single makes it 2-1. Tigers lose tonight 3-1. Central Michigan fell to 1-2 after a 28-point loss to LSU on the road last week. And just like earlier this month, the Chippewas are looking to bounce back with a home game following a loss to an SEC opponent. This week, head coach Jim McElwain noted how his CMU teams have seemed to be more comfortable at home with only 11 turnovers at home during that time compared to 26 on the road. He thinks the home crowd will be important this week as they host FIU.
Obviously a noon kickoff. We need to get people waking up early to get ready to roll. I know our students will. You know, getting them here, I was just really happy with how that went. You know, we're looking for a great day and a good crowd, and I know it really helps this football team.
This will be the first matchup between CMU and FIU. Michigan will look to stay undefeated and win their first conference game as they will play Rutgers at 3:30 p.m. tomorrow. And then at night, the Spartans will seek their second conference win. They will play Nebraska. Ferris State will also be at home tomorrow looking to stay undefeated as they will play Davenport at 3 p.m. It's also homecoming for the Bulldogs, who have never lost to the Panthers. Ryder Cup began today with the Team Europe taking on Team United States. It is being held in the United States this year. Team USA has only won 2 of the last 9 Ryder Cups with wins in 2008 and 2016. And one of the most impressive shots of the day was Jordan Spieth somehow getting this one to land right near the hole as he nearly tumbled into Lake Michigan. But that group was the only U.S. team to lose in the morning session. Check out this putt from Xander Schauffele. Team USA off to a pretty strong start. They hold a 6-2 lead. They need 8.5 more points to win. And you can rewatch all of the highlights from tonight's show. Right now, we have them up on our website, mysportsnow.com. And be sure to join us tomorrow for more coverage from Red Wings training camp, along with highlights from another week of college football. That'll be right here on 9 and 10 News. That's it for us. Colbert's next. Have a great night.